Okay, welcome to Miracle Minded Meditation. I'm Vanessa Ray, and I'm really happy to have you. And for anyone who's watching this recording later, I'm happy to be with you right now. And I'm going to first start by talking about why meditation and why meditation with weight loss. So most people are somewhat familiar with meditation, whether you have a practice or you've never done it before, it doesn't matter at all. Meditation, and there's many ways of meditating, and we're going to talk about a little bit of them today, and I'm going to give you a few different meditations that we're going to go through today. And we're going to focus our meditation all on body, weight loss, healing, insert whatever your personal things are that you're unhappy with, that you're struggling with, that you're having some kind of difficulty or block with. There's nothing off limits. You know, some people even come to me and talk to me and they don't have weight to lose, but they don't feel right in their body and they're obsessed with food. That's fine too. So this can really be used for anyone. So meditation is a way to calm yourself. Some of my meditations, we're going to use words and visualizations, but some meditations are silent. Some meditations have eyes closed, some have eyes open, but they all do some similar things, which is reset the body to a state of, first of all, not being in a panicked state, a state that has our cortisol going, a state that has our fight flight going, a state that actually those states, the body doesn't digest, the body holds on to fat, the body thinks that we are in danger because we're so stressed. That's how our body formed over thousands of years, right? It's thinking that we're in danger and it's not safe. You know, starving to death was the number one way that humans used to die. So the body just holds on to fat. So it's kind of the being stressed is not a healthy state for many reasons in the body. And so that's one of the reasons we're going to do some relaxation around the body. Another thing that I use it for is, and I use this a lot in my Miracle Minded weight loss practice, is even though we're obviously in a body and we're here because we're having some kind of issue with our body and being in a body that we feel the most comfortable in, I like to recognize that I am more than a body. I use the term spirit. So you don't have to be religious. You don't have to be non-religious. You can be any religion. There's just an acknowledgement that obviously we're in a body having a human experience, but there's an energy behind that animates the body. I call it the spirit, but you can call it whatever you would like, whatever you feel comfortable with. But there's obviously a difference between someone who's animated and has something in them making them work and someone who has passed and doesn't have that in them making them work. So we'll call that spirit, or I will during this class, we'll call it spirit. And this approach is about, even though we're having difficulty or some kind of issue with the physical body, when we approach it from the level of spirit, we get a higher perspective. We get a way to access kind of a bigger power, a deeper power that helps us with this physicality. It helps us with our physical problems. It helps us with our body. And one of my favorite phrases that people that listen to me have heard me say a lot, but I think it's really poignant is, and I think Einstein first said it, is we can't affect the problem. We can't solve the problem on the level the problem was created, meaning the consciousness that creates the issues isn't going to be the same consciousness that we resolve the problem. We have to go to a different consciousness. So that's kind of how I think about when I go to spirit, or when I go into this other realm, a different place, to solve my weight loss, or to solve I was a bit bigger. to solve that issue, I didn't approach it from the physical plane. So for me, this is a very different approach because it wasn't about pounding the pavement and working harder and cutting my calories and going to the gym and being really rough on myself and work. Like, that's not how I did it. I did it from changing my mind, a lot of different things, but mostly changing my mind. And so that's kind of how I think about it, is like, if we're willing, everything starts in the mind, everything starts with a thought, everything starts with subtle energy. And that's how these manifestations happen in the first place. So instead of approaching it from the physical place, the densest place of the physical body, to try to solve a problem, why don't we just go to the source and find the solution there, and then let the body have the effect of, like, the weight loss becomes the symptom then of going to this higher perspective. So these are some of the things that we can do with meditation and with our minds. So I think we're going to start our first meditation. And again, make yourself nice and comfortable if you can. It's okay if you are only partially listening. I mean, ideally, you're able to relax the most you can, let any resistance go, be as receptive as possible. But we're not always in ideal situations, right? If you do get drowsy during meditation, it's fine. It's still going into the subconscious, and the subconscious is the biggest part of our mind. It's actually often the subconscious that is keeping weight on us when we don't want it. So it's fine if only the subconscious is getting it. If you have to be busy, that's fine too. Just kind of practice the breathing and try to feel calm on the inside. I practice this all the time while I'm working with my 10-year-old daughter and like cooking dinner and running an errand. I just check in inside of me in my internal universe and practice feeling calm and practice cultivating the internal environment that I have much more control over than the external environment. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to do a couple of different little meditations because I wanted to give you a variety of different things that might help. In each case, though, I'm going to first, hit this little bell, and that will start our meditation. Again, you're always going to use what's appropriate for you. So if I say close your eyes, obviously you're going to do it if you can. And if there's a word I use and you have a better word that fits better for you, go ahead and insert that word in its place. So for our first meditation, we're just going to start to slow down. And we're going to start by really just slowing down and not changing anything, not trying to do anything. So if your head is busy, that's okay. If it's noisier in your environment than you'd like, we're going to practice letting that be okay too. Go ahead and close your eyes if you can. Now see if you can expand your breath so that your inhale is just a little more expansive than it is normally. So you're taking just a little bit of a deeper breath. And you're exhaling maybe a little longer. We're going to treat this nice and easy and not worry about doing it right so much. We're just starting to center and settle into ourselves. And the theme of this first meditation We're going to practice being okay with things the way they are, even if we prefer them to be different, even if there's things lacking in being ideal. We're going to practice just kind of letting it be. And as we're doing this, I invite you to let float to the forefront of your mind some kind of complaint, just one. Start with one at a time, or we'll stick with one at a time. Just let one thing, one complaint, and we're going to focus it in the area of the body. So it could be a body part that you have an issue with. It could be maybe you have an illness or an injury. Maybe you have a really hard time with, you hate your thighs or something, or maybe it's not externally focused. It's more like you're really frustrated. Just pick one at a time, just one right now. One thing you're going to pick as a complaint or a quote unquote problem, one thing that you wish was different. And you're just going to have it. And if you're a visual person, that's great. But if you're not, that's great too. I'm not actually normally a super visual person myself, but you're going to practice in all of these meditations using your own intuition. So I might guide you in a certain way, but if you are experiencing it in a different way, go with that, because you are your authority. So I'm going to invite this one complaint or problem to as if it's sitting right in front of you. Like maybe it's in a chair, or maybe it's sitting on the table, or maybe it's the word, or maybe you have an image for it, or maybe you just kind of feel it. So however you're deciding to imagine that or sense that is totally fine. And we're going to practice at this moment not rejecting it, not judging it. And don't worry, this doesn't mean it has to stay there. It doesn't mean that you're saying, yes, I want this for the rest of my life. We're just going to practice not reacting for just a bit. You're not saying you love it when you don't. You're not saying you want it when you don't. But we're going to diffuse kind of the drama, the story around it. And ideally, start to sense it, or get a little closer to being able to sense it as just what it is and nothing else. So I teach a lot by demonstration and example. So I always share my own experience as an example. So it's my first complaint that came to me that's most prevalent for me right now is I feel a little bit heavy and weighed down. So I'm just gonna take that image or that feeling of a heaviness or a weighed downness, and I'm just gonna imagine it's right in front of me. But now, instead of saying, I don't like it, this is bad, oh no, I hope this goes away, or whatever, I'm just going to let my thoughts about it just not mean anything. There's just comments, just my mind chattering and going and going, and making something wrong and making something right, and making something good and making something bad. So I'm just going to see the fact that I feel a little heavier. Not mean anything other than I feel a little heavier. And now I'm going to invite you to internally ask yourself or ask this issue what it might have to say to you. Does it have any message for you? And you're just going to use your own guidance here. Does it have anything? Do you have anything to say to it aside of the stuff we just kind of let go or took a little less seriously? Was there anything for you, any way to be with this thing that you hadn't considered before? Just see if there's anything there. You're just practicing being with it. And continuing to inhale and exhale. And now you're not going to be condoning or asking for more of this thing, but you're just going to say thank you, almost like a bow, an acknowledgement of this is what's here right now. It's really interesting to have that thank you energy or that bow energy to something that you consider, or has been a problem. Maybe it's been a problem for a long time. Maybe it's even caused you a ton of pain and strain in your life. You're just acknowledging it with a bow or a thank you. And just go ahead and let that go. And we're going to do this exercise one more time. So let another problem area, could even just be your eating. Maybe you have I know with me, I used to be, I still do overeat sometimes, but I used to be much more of a compulsive or emotional eater. So it can be like an eating habit that you have. So go ahead and pick one more thing for now. Let it come up, let it be sitting across from you or in around you, so that it's not you though, so that there's you and then there's this thing, that you're not the same thing. It's not you, it's separate from you. So I like to hold my hand up as if I'm holding it. So go ahead and pick a thing. And again, you're just being present with it. You're acknowledging that it's there. But you're not going to judge it and blame it. That's just not what we're doing right now. You're just going to let it be exactly what it is. Without all the meaning. And this is all just a practice. You just practice practicing. And see if what comes up. See if you can, if any ideas come up where you are judging it or finding it ugly or bad or something. See if you can see those as just more part of the story on top and not just the thing. The same way if a baby was born and wasn't conditioned to think of any of this in any certain way, it would just look, right? Just seeing what is. And now see if there's any message there, anything that you need to know, you haven't realized or seen before about this issue? Anything it wants to tell you? Any new way to relate to this thing? I mean, if it's an issue, it's something you obviously you don't like, it's causing some stress or strain or maybe massive issues. So see if there's anything asides of that. And just being curious. And then again, you're going to say your way of thank you or showing some kind of gratitude. And we're just going to let it go. And go ahead and open your eyes if you want. So this was a little bit more of a mental exercise than exactly a meditation, but we definitely, I speak really calmly. We went into a calm place, brought something up that we normally struggle with or suffer with, or maybe we downright hate, and we've only thought of it as something we hate. Could be, I used to have very violent, harsh, cruel judgments of certain parts of my body. And so whatever that was like for you, you got what you were meant to get. But the exercise of being willing to kind of look at it differently and be with it differently, when you're willing to be differently with it, it will be different for you. So you can repeat this over and over anytime you want. You can amend it and make it a little, using your own intuition and guidance if you want. Go into, what feels right for you. I do want to share something though, that just because we are being with a part that is an issue and a problem for us, doesn't mean it can be kind of counterintuitive. And we're going to go into the law of attraction and do a meditation around that in just a moment. But it can be kind of counterintuitive because for some of us, we're taught, like, if there's a part we don't like, we want to avoid it and not look at it and not be with it. If we are with it in any way, we judge and blame and put down, and we can't, almost can't stop ourselves from spewing our preferences on it. And it's this lack of ability of being with it just the way it is that stops us from being able to then change it. It was when I was able to be with myself, be with my body, and still continue. I do this all the time, be with parts of myself that are my not preferred parts. It's okay, if I'm not as attracted to my underarm as I am to my upper arm, that's okay. It just means I'm a human and I have preferences. But when you're able to be with it and practicing letting all the extra go, all the this is ugly, this is bad, this is harmful, this is super painful, this is whatever, that then there's a way that it can change. So I wanted to be clear too, that we're not going to keep focusing, that the goal isn't that you keep going to these areas or these issues, these pain points, and focusing on them to keep to expand the energy of that and make more and more and more and more of it and dwell in it and focus on it. It's that where you're willing and able to be with it, so that then can come the solution from the higher consciousness place, that we are able to change it. So it's just like in forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what the other person did or condoning what we did. When I've forgiven myself for having an eating disorder, I'm not saying that was great, good thinking, great choice. I'm really happy with that. What I'm saying is it's over. I'm done. I'm done punishing you for it. So it's kind of the same thing with that body part, or with that those issues that came up, you're not saying, yes, I love this. You're not pretending it's okay. You're not saying, yes, I want more of this. You're just saying, okay, I'm done being mad at you. I'm done punishing you. I'm done. Because what happens is actually when we're in a negative relationship with our issues, it actually perpetuates them, which is why we're doing this, is to actually not perpetuate them and let them go, which is why it's meditation for weight loss. So that leads me into my next one, and I forgot to ding the bell. Like I said, I was going to. I'll do it this next time. So this next one, we're going to go into a meditation where we use a little bit of what's commonly, mainstream known as the law of attraction. And this, of course, still comes from the spiritual realm. It starts in the invisible realm. It starts in the realm of where all imagination and creation and thinking comes from. And this is a big part of also what I teach and what I do, and how I lost weight, and how I more than lost weight. I wasn't ever that overweight, but it's losing weight is the booby prize at this point. It's like having a radical transformation in how I am in my body and how I am with food is a better description. So I did that with my thinking, and then the body was the effect. So this next exercise, I'm going to invite you to, again, close your eyes. And breathe in a way that is deep and soothing and comfortable. The slower we breathe, the more relaxed we are. It sends the message to the body that we're safe, because you can't breathe this way if you're actually in danger. So it lets the body know it's safe to relax. It's safe to let things go. It's safe to process emotions and food and weight. I'm safe enough to have a higher metabolism. It's safe enough to let weight go. It's just all part of helping the body work optimally. So in this exercise, we're going to do some dreaming into how we want to feel in our body and how we want to look in our body. And we're going to attempt, the intention is that we're doing it from a very grounded, meaningful place. So again, not so much from the outside in. I don't know if there's nothing wrong or not. I think there's a more effective way of envisioning how you want to look and feel, more so than doing it like, I want to be this weight and I want to look this way. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just do it a slightly different way. I like doing it from the inside out. So we're going to start with, how do you want to feel being you? So you're asking that to yourself right now as you're practicing breathing. Practicing relaxing, you're practicing feeling good. That is a practice that we're not taught. We just think, oh, some people are happy and feel good and some people don't. It's BS. It's a practice. Whatever it is that you normally feel like, it's because you've practiced feeling that way. So now we're just going to practice another way, and you can have that. There's nothing, it is actually your birthright to feel good, right? That's all we're doing, is practicing our birthright of feeling good. So as you're relaxing, you're breathing, I tend to sway. You're doing what feels good. You're going to allow yourself to feel good. And I'm going to say a few affirmations, which you can breathe into. You can repeat it in your head. You can also repeat it out loud if you want. So I deserve to feel good. Try that on inside of you. I deserve to feel good. And there might be a part of you that doesn't believe it. And that's okay. Again, we're practicing not reacting. No big deal. There might be a part of you that outright says, no, I don't. Okay, just find that interesting. There might be a part of you that is dying to hear that sentence. I deserve to feel good. I get to feel good. And see if you can breathe these words deep inside of you. Try it on like in your heart. Try it on in your chest. Imagine your stomach and your belly. And deep inside of you, deep inside of your head and your mind and your brain is saying, I get to feel good. And if you already are someone who feels pretty good, I get to feel great. That is a possibility for me. I get to feel exceptional. Here's where you can try on words. If you're in a low place right now, let's say you feel way low, right? Way low. We've all been there. Maybe just saying, I get to feel okay is where you want to reach to and what you want to affirm. You're looking for the best, rightest sentence for you right now to kind of be ringing on the inside of your body. I get to feel good. It's also a declaration. And even if you don't believe it 100,000,000%, that's okay. You're just practicing it. It's a practice. Happiness is a practice. I wish they taught that in school. I get to feel good. I deserve to feel good. I want to feel good. You can hear my kitten on the other side of the door. Okay, so now whatever's coming up for you, just find it, again, it's a practice, find it interesting. Be present with yourself without judging or critiquing or doing anything harsh. And if there's a part of you that's like, this is so slow and this is so boring, maybe find that interesting. Okay. What is your ego protecting you from? You know, normally when there's things like that, it's like there's a part of our minds that does not feel safe enough to let us calm down and let us go there. So it's like, oh, I got to clean the kitchen. Oh, that's right. I need to pack my lunch. It's like, okay, just, you'll know when it's something you actually have to do because you'll get up and do it, like put out a fire. But if it's not that, chances are there's just a part of your mind that is really, really threatened that you're doing something that maybe it's not used to doing. That's all. You don't have to react to that either. And just continuing to breathe. Now, what would it be like if you felt really good on the inside, really good in your body? What would that feel like? You might feel that right now. You might not know what that would feel like. You could be anywhere on the spectrum. Like I said, you might feel that way a lot. Chances are, if you're interested in these type of services, that you either aren't or you are desiring more. So imagine right now that whatever stage you're at on the spectrum of feeling really good or feeling not good, wherever you lie on that scale, imagine you felt even a little bit better. You're just trying it on. It's like playing pretend the way that kids do. Just try it on. You can imagine it, right? Can you imagine feeling like, what would it feel like if I felt even better? Just pretend. What would it feel like if I felt a little more comfortable or a little more at ease? What would it feel like from the inside out if you felt lighter? If you felt like maybe more energized, more free? What might that be like? And if you can go there in your mind and in your imagination and feel it, ideally viscerally, kind of experience, we're trying to create an experience of it. So if you can get there, like, oh, I can kind of reach for that experience, see if you can go a little more. And it can just be a smidge, just like I always say, like the size of a grain of sand. If that's what if you can imagine 1 grain of sand's worth of feeling even better, do it. See if you can get there. How good does that feel? How do you feel in your body? And if you can add another grain of sand size worth of more lightness, more peace, more confidence, see if you can add one more. And if you can't, then just be exactly where you are. But give it a try. Our body replicates. The body will go where the mind will go. So we're really just expanding the mind, trying on those feelings, creating a visceral experience in our body. And I like to always have people be real curious of what words really do it for you. Sometimes it's a surprise, like, oh, the word light lifted me up. Okay, really good to know. Often when I think of weight loss, the things that really bring me the sensation of weight loss and the feeling of weight loss that I practice feeling throughout the day, and that has helped me lose weight, is I feel, it's interesting because I'll feel like expanded and light, but not expanded like I'm getting fatter, expanded like this uplifted, open, yummy lightness. And so I know for myself, those words tend to like bring me into this place of internally feeling light. So see what there is for you. What words are doing it? What sensations are you feeling? Look around too in your mind, like, oh, if I was the weight that I say I want to be, or what is the reason you even want to lose weight? Because you want to feel what? Good enough? Worthy? Well, you can feel that right now. So what would, oh, I'm so good enough. I am exactly the way I need to be. I'm worthy. I'm beautiful. Maybe you want to feel beautiful. Of course you do. Everyone does. That is not superficial at all, right? It's not at all. I mean, when it means something to you and it helps you live the most beautiful life, then what's better, right? So imagine, what does it feel like to feel beautiful, to feel the way you're going to feel in the body that you think you need to have or want to have or can have and will have. I'm not saying you can't have it and won't have it, but what does it feel like now from the inside out? You want to lose weight because it's going to give you, what feeling do you get? I know sometimes for myself, if I see someone who looks like, I look at their body and it's not about the way their body actually looks, it's actually the way that they are carrying themselves and the way that it looks like it feels to be in their body. Like maybe they, like a kid, like they have energy and they're uninhibited and they just put anything on and they're just so free and expressed. If I see that in an adult, I'm so attracted to it. And it really doesn't have too much to do with size or shape or anything. It has to do with that joy. It's almost like their body is buzzing a joyfulness. And that's what I want. So see if you can get any of these insights for yourself, like, oh, it feels ecstatic maybe to be in this body, in this potentially lighter body. I don't want to assume that you have weight to lose or want to lose weight, but it is weight loss meditation. So, but really what we all want to feel is so right in our body. And so that example I was giving of like seeing a woman who's just kind of poised or bouncing down the street or free and confident and moves well in her body, it's like, that's what I want. That's what I want for me. So try that on. See if you can practice like feeling it, claiming it. You might start getting visions. See what does it look like? What does it look like, you being in that body? Don't get bogged down. If you start getting stressed out, it's the wrong direction. Forget about it. Just drop it. If you start being like, oh, what am I wearing? This isn't fun. Drop it. Go back into the feeling or an image that does work. Like, again, like I can imagine, I love the way it feels to be on a beach. So if you do too, or how about this? Invite your dream body into a dream environment. So maybe you're in the woods, maybe you're in your beautiful home or a beautiful home, maybe you're at a party or wherever you want to be in this body. I love the ocean and the beach, and pretty much anytime I'm there, I feel really good. I like the sun on my skin. So imagine this body that feels so good to be in. Imagine your body, just pick one of those environments that you are most called to right now and see your body in that environment. Like try to feel it and see it. Sense the sensations that you want to have in the body. And again, it might be very visual. It might be more sensing and not visual. Just kind of get these little clips. I imagine often I'll say, take a mental snapshot. So when you feel these feelings, or get even just a nudge of like, ooh, that's it. Take a mental snapshot, take a visceral snapshot. So you're just like, boom, this. If you see an image, like I keep seeing myself in a bikini on the beach, and I'm just going to take a mental snapshot. Like there's me on the beach, soaking up the sun, and there's no body problem I'm having. I'm just comfortable. Again, all of this is a practice. You're just practicing. And continuing to breathe slowly, as relaxed as you can. And if you got any of these feelings, images, or words, you can just say internally to yourself, or you can say out loud if that feels more powerful, like, yes, just yes. For me, saying yes is the most direct, authentic claiming. You can also say, I'm claiming this. Normally for myself, I find the more words I start like making a big declaration, the farther away I get from the essence of what I just created. So I just say yes. I let it in. Yes to this body. Yes to these feelings. Yes to joy. So see if you can either try on the yeses. You're programming your mind. You're programming your subconscious. You're letting your body know this is safe for me. This is good. I get to have this. And if there's a rebuttal from another part of you, that's okay. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's true. In fact, it's totally not true. If there's something telling you you can't have it, it's not true. But you don't need to get into a fight with it. Just let it be. But you're just yesing all the yummy creation that you just created. Taking little snapshots. And in a moment, we're going to come back. So that was pretty yummy for me. I hope that was good for you. There's always, I think, so much that can come up and just interesting stuff. I mean, often I should have told you you could have a journal with you. In bigger workshops I do, I always say, bring a journal because you never know. You might get a vision, you might get oh boy, this thing came up. What is that about? Something to let go of. Sometimes you get emotional. So it's all good. It's all good stuff. You're just practicing being with yourself. We are going to do one more before we leave, but I do want to invite you, if there's anything you want to ask or comment on, you can put that in the chat. I also would be really, really curious to know if there is a particular, like a request of the way a meditation goes, if you're working on something, if you want like a letting something go meditation, if you want a mantra meditation, if there's any limiting belief, if there's anything you're struggling with that you want me to speak to, I'm happy to do that. And if I don't get anything, I'll just pick something. Okay, so we have a few minutes, so we're going to do one last one. And so go ahead, close your eyes. And we're going to do a little bit of programming our mindset, programming our subconscious, giving messages to ourselves, giving messages to our muscle and our fat and our whole system, our whole body system, which is, there's so much more than just this dense physical body. There are the emotions, there is the mental chatter. So you can do this meditation, you can just listen to it. You can also repeat certain words or sentences in your own mind after I say them. Or you can also say them out loud, just using your, like, whatever feels the most, powerful or helpful to you, then that's the right thing to do. So it is safe for me to lose weight. It is safe for me to lose weight. It is safe for me to lose weight. Releasing weight can be easy. Releasing weight can be easy. And if any counter feelings or ideas come up, which is totally normal, I'll feel it as resistance. So I just felt in myself when I said releasing weight is easy, there was a little resistance because I know it hasn't always been. And for some people, it's really, really not. In fact, I know it to be the opposite. So then I'll just speak to it this way. And I'm saying this all out loud so you can process this with me and then take this and use it for yourself later if you want to repeat this exercise. So although it was a challenge for me in the past, although I've seen others suffer and struggle to lose weight, I allow it to be easy for me now. So that for me just opened a way that there's less resistance, and now there's like an allowing that I can feel. And sometimes that's what the brain and the body need. So although it's been hard for me in the past, or although I struggled with weight and food for a long time, that doesn't have to be the way it is now. I see other people eating and not gaining weight. I see other people not obsessing over food. I see other people eating bigger meals, more fatty and sugary meals than me, and being much smaller. So I know it's not all the food. I allow for myself to be one of those lucky people that gets to release weight easily. It is okay for me to be in a body I feel more comfortable in. It is okay for me to feel beautiful and confident and free and liberated and proud in my body. I get to have this. I get to have this. I get to have this. And me having a body I feel best in is in the world's best interest, because I show up more focused, more ready to serve, more present as a mother and a girlfriend and a coach and a community member and a friend. And I have more love and light to shine into the world. I get to have this. And now we're going to end with an appreciation rampage for our body. So we're going to be saying thank you, thank you, thank you, or feel thank you, thank you, thank you, or gratitude and appreciation for everything that's going right in our body. Because for every complaint we could possibly have, there are trillions and trillions of things going right. Or we'd know about them because they'd be going wrong. So we're just going to start from the bottom up. So thank you for our toes and our feet, and our skin and our muscles and our joints, and our blood and our bones, and going up to the ankles and the calves and the shins. Thank you, 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 thank you. And for our knees, and filling them with light and love and appreciation. Golden light in through our feet and our toes and up our shins and our calves and into our bones and our muscles, filling our blood and all of our cells. And if you have a problem in any of those areas, just bringing extra light and gratitude. And now into our thighs, whether they look the way we want them to or not. I'm going to guess that you have some. And if you only have one, then grateful for one. Most of us have two that we're busy complaining about. We're going to flood them with gratitude right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to my legs. They walk me around to everything that's important. I couldn't take a walk with my daughter without them. I couldn't take a walk by the ocean without them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cells, blood, bones, muscles, everything. And up to your hips and butt and your sacral area. Whatever that area looks or feels like, I guarantee there's a bunch going right. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, muscles and bones. Thank you, fat. Thank you for keeping me safe. I am safe. I don't need excess fat anymore, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not going to hate you away. That's not going to work. And into the reproductive organs and the belly area and the belly fat and the cells and the lower back and the muscles and the bones and the blood and all the organs in the center of our body there. So kidneys, adrenals, pancreas, spleen, stomach, and going up a little bit higher. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Liver, heart, lungs, vertebrae up the back, mid back, upper back, muscles, cells, bones, blood, all doing their job just to keep you alive. Everything is working just so you can have a life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Chest, clavicle, endocrine glands, endocrine system, immune system, and up to the top of your shoulders, your collarbone, down your arms, cells, bones, muscles, blood, joints, fat, skin, down into your wrists and your hands and your fingers where you touch your pets that you love, and your husband and your friends and your kids, and you pick up your food and your glass of wine and you make your art and you drive your car and you do everything you do. Thank you, 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 thank you. And your neck and your throat and your ability to speak, your ability to express yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your thyroid, filling it with love, filling it with so much light now, beaming through all of your cells and into your head and your face and your eyes and your nose and your mouth and your ears and your skull and your brain and all of the parts. Your lips, you get to kiss who you love. You get to eat and enjoy food. And up to the very top of your head. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your whole body is filled with light. Your whole body is filled with light. Okay. Now open our eyes and get ready to end our session. We went a little over. So my last message for today is that we're not going to shame the parts of our body away enough to get the body we want. We're not going to hate our fat away. We're not going to hate our injuries and wounds. We're not going to hate our scars away. It's not how it works. And if it did, we'd all look the way we wanted to look. But it doesn't work. And there's plenty of people who look the way they want to look, and they look quote unquote perfect in that sense of the word perfect, in a conditioned social sense. And they hate themselves and they don't feel good on the inside. And that's not what this is. So you can fill yourself with love and light and appreciation, and let the things go that no longer serve you go. Not by hating them and fighting them away, by letting them go. So many blessings to you and to anyone who watches this later. I'm Vanessa Ray of Light, and I give free classes. I also have a Facebook group, Miracle Minded Weight Loss, and that's free, and I give tips away. And I also have, I do coaching, and I do packages and programs that I'm happy to talk about and share with you if anyone is ever interested. And have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming.